Now what I've done now, I've done one eye, and I'm going to show the other eye. Now, the great advantage you've got now is you'll be able to compare, as I do this, you'll be able to compare it and see how it develops. And the first thing I'm going to think about doing is just here, I want to have this light coming from there. Now, because we work from a light to dark basis, you've got to think about this before you start, because if I tried to put that light across there when the eye was finished, it wouldn't have worked. So we've got somehow or other, this is why I've done this eye and not that one, somehow or other we've got to work it out. So we start off by putting some white in the eye, and this is hard. I've got to tell you, this is not going to be an easy thing to do. However, as you will see, it's possible. But what you're going to see here is some very, very interesting ways of working colours in, around. You see, the thing is, if I do happen to go over that area with any of the darker pencils, it won't matter too much because I've got the base of white underneath, which means when I come back again later on, when I finish the eye, I'll be able to re-establish this. But if I effectively colour the paper with the darker colours and then try to do the same thing, it won't work. No matter how much you try, folks, you ain't going to do it. Now that looks good. Now the other thing I'm going to do is, just to make absolutely sure I've got exactly what I want, I'm also going to put a few more white hairs like this. Just make it difficult for myself, really, like that, because it's really important that we think about it like that. You can see already, you can see and understand where I'm coming from. Okay, now the colours I'm using, that was white, the original. Now this one is the 187. And the 187 is going to just gradually give us, bit by bit by bit, the shape of the eye beneath. Got it? Okay, now that's good. Now we're going in with the darker colour, and what I'm going to use is 283. 283 darker, burnt umber, burnt sienna, and that goes make it a little dark. By putting the 187 in first, again it establishes the base colour, and I can reconstitute that at a later date when I decide to. See how careful I am, folks? And I bet you're thinking, God, that looks hard. And it is, but there is no other way you could actually do this. You've got to be able to. You'll be following my picture if you do it, and I hope you do have a crack at it. You'll be following my picture now. I want to get a little darker in there now. Develop it a bit more. See, I'm not going in with the dark colours at the moment. I just want to make sure before I start showing the stronger colours that I've got the right tone. Okay. Now here, just to make matters worse, we've also got to put in the lighter tones, still thinking about the fact that we've got the white as well. This is going to be white. I just might as well just do just a little bit of, it's prep work really. What you're doing is just preparing the way for the tones that are to follow. Now, this is a lot of white in here as well, but that's not so bad because white will go over the ivory very well. It's just the darker colours that won't go over. Now we've got to make sure we want a little bit more brown. Now, because I've now put the ivory underneath there, you see it's changed. You see the colour from there to there because it's going on top of the ivory, but that's what I'm looking for. And now we can start thinking about putting that. I hope I'm making sense to you all. This is certainly not an easy job to actually talk while I'm doing it, but you can see how it works. And I've got a little bit of ochre as well, because we've got ochre in above, so we want some ochre in it. This is the 183, and now I'm happy that now I've got the shape of this area we've got to start thinking about the darker colours. Now, the pupil in the eye, you can see on the other side, very clear. But here, where do we put it there? Well, we come in with the 283 and just make it, I still want the light to be in the eye. Stronger. And then I'm going to use 177. Now 177 is pretty dark, as you will see. I don't want to make it any darker though. Yes, I just want to keep that rim like I've got there in there, and I've managed to do that all right. Okay, a little bit of dark on the other side of the eye there. So that light there that I put in, just re-establish it. Re-establish that. Yep, that's good. And there, like that. Good. Now we want to go darker still. And what I've done here is I've gone in eventually with black. So I think that's probably what I'm going to have to do. Put a little bit of black in. But once you start doing the black, of course, you can't come back. I want to keep that area just there light, so I'll go back in with a little bit of 187. I want to see that area there. This is why I've done the other eye, so I can actually compare what I'm doing. See that the eye is hidden behind this fur, and wouldn't it be easier, folks, if I could just put the fur over the top, but it ain't going to work that way. This is why this Yorkie has never been done before. But because I can do it, that is in a DVD, but because I can show you and explain to you on the members site just how to do it. Can you see that beginning to work now? You know, if I pull back I can see it. Now I don't know whether I want to go any further at the moment about it. What I'm going to do is then finish all the hairs off and then do what I'm doing here, just cut in here and there to make it work. Dark behind it. That's good. I don't want that to be too bright, that. And the other thing I don't want is the light in the eye that's just there. I want it to be a little duller. So I'm just putting in a 230. Which darkens it down. See, just that little bit more that I've done there. Now, it doesn't, the eye is too short. You see, the eye is long there. So what we've got to do now is I've got to expand it slightly. So we'll bring it in just a little bit more to give you the width. And just there and there, we'll make it look as though we've expanded the eye out. And as I say, don't worry, it's all going to turn out all right in the end. But now I think I've probably got the width of the eye about right there now. And just to be, let's put a little bit of light back in. Now that's as far as we can go at the moment, because we've really got to work on the hairs here. Now you can see all these little curly bits. Well, these are the hairs we're going to use now. The thing is, what we can't do here, we've already got bases, colours under there. So I'm going to have to go in with, if I can find it, my 181. I'm going to sharpen it up. So give me a second. I'll sharpen it up, and then when I come back, I will show you how we get all these little hairs here. You'll love that.